Jackson State will take on FAMU as both teams are coming off bye weeks and both teams are looking to establish number one place, the first place in the SWAC East. What I think is going to happen, what I think should happen, and who comes out on top. Let's talk about it after the bumper. Stay tuned. What is going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody? My name is JeffLightsyJr. This is the Victory Formation Sports Show right here on JeffLightsYjr. YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your content. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and the notification bell as we upload all the time. Now, JSU versus FAMU, the battle for the top first place in the SWAC East. This battle has been going on for a long time. I mean, literally ever since FAMU joined the SWAC from the MEAC, JSU and FAMU have had this back and forth. Now, FAMU got their first win over the Tigers last year since they joined the MEAC. And then they went on to win the Celebration Bowl. The one thing JSU hasn't been able to do. JSU the previous 2 years before last year had obviously went undefeated in the SWAC, won the SWAC championship game, and went to the Celebration Bowl and lost. That was under the tutelage of Deion Sanders. Coach T.C. Taylor took over last year, had a bit of a down year. But this year, right now, they're undefeated in conference, even though they lost to Grambling and one stinker. They was not counted as a conference game, and they're 2-0 in conference. FAMU's 1-0 in conference. And this winner essentially will give someone the fast track to the SWAC East title. Now, of course, there's a lot of season left to be played, but this team will be in sole possession of first place in the SWAC East and have the inside track to winning and hosting the SWAC championship game, or being a participant in the SWAC championship game. Let me put it like that. And this is two teams that are pretty evenly matched. FAMU wants to throw the ball over the field. Daniel Richardson, they want to get him out. Outside the pocket, they want him to throw the ball. He has to be more careful with the ball, though. He threw 2 interceptions against Alabama State the last time they played. But both teams, interesting enough, this is interesting because you don't get this a lot in college football, where both teams are coming off bye weeks. And both teams are coming off bye weeks that I think that they needed. Jackson State, the last time they played on October 5th, they played against Alabama A&M. And against Alabama A&M, they were spanking Coach Connell Maynor and the Bulldogs until they weren't. Let me repeat. They were spanking Coach Connell Maynor and the Bulldogs until they weren't, and they ended up winning the game, but they won it in a kind of nasty looking 45-38, where at one point, I want to say Jackson State in that game, what were they up by at one point? They were up by, let's see. I mean, it was 38-10. They got outscored 28-7 in the second half. They were up 38-10 and got outscored 28-7 in the second half. And that has kind of been a theme for Jackson State this season. The same happened in the Southern game. The Southern game, well, now Southern didn't make it that close, but Southern had a bunch of chunk plays in the second half of their game. Jackson State won that game 33-15. And then the sloppy play and the turnovers led to their 41-20 loss to a Grambling team that quite honestly they shouldn't have lost to. And then once again, the sloppy play reared its ugly head again in their game against Alabama A&M. Now, here's the thing. You can't do that against FAMU. FAMU will beat you. Let me repeat. You cannot do that against FAMU. They will beat you if you come out and start playing sloppy. If your secondary gives up these big chunk plays, if you are not paying attention to detail and making the plays even after you establish a comfortable lead. That just can't happen. Now, Jackson State has all the talent in the world to get another big lead. I don't think they'll get it that big over FAMU. They had a huge lead over Southern. They had a huge lead over Alabama A&M. And those kind of dwindled because of sloppy, big chunk plays, not blocking well in the second half of those games and giving up just these massive, massive plays through the air. Well, that's where FAMU can hurt you, because Richardson, the quarterback for FAMU, wants to throw the ball all over the field. He wants to air it out. And if your secondary is susceptible to giving up, I think, how many yards did the young man from Southern throw? Like, I know he threw for let me look at that box score really quick. So that way you guys know I ain't capping. He threw for 350. Noah Bolden threw for 350. Now he only gave up 15 points. But Daniel Richardson is a better quarterback than Noah Bolden. And he's capable for throwing for 350 if your secondary gives up those chunk plays again. That's what can't happen. But what I think you will be able to do, you have to continue to get the ball to Travis Terrell in space. You have to be able to utilize all of your weapons, but your secondary has to play better. Now, what it seems like, and this is something Colsey and them, I'm sure, have been talking about all week when they've been prepping for this game because they had a bye week as well. But what it also seems like, too, it seems as if JSU is going to be on the hunt. It sounds because their coach made a not so subtle, he let it be known that no starting quarterback, has walked out healthy out of the vet. I'm going to repeat. The defense coordinator over JSU, yeah, he let it be known that no starting quarterback has made it out of the vet healthy. Now, that's a hell of a proclamation. That's letting, hey, if we can't cover you in the back end, because there's honestly, there's no proof to say that JSU can cover for all 4 quarters in the back end. They just haven't shown it. I mean, they give up a bunch of touchdowns late to Alabama and A&M. They allowed the Southern quarterback, Noah Bolden, to throw all over them. And he was the backup. But he let it be known that no starting quarterback, has walked out of the vet healthy. And so I think his game plan is, I mean, I don't want to sound so like just cruel, but he plans on going after Richardson. He plans on continuing that tradition to not allowing starting quarterbacks to make it out of the vet healthy. I mean, don't take my words for it. That's what the man said. I am just telling you what I heard. That's what the man said. Coach Quinn. That's what he said. And so that is something I know Coach Colsey and his staff is talking about. How can we exploit their secondary, block their guys up front, because their guys up front, Jeremiah Williams, Phillip Webb, and those guys front 7, meaning the D linemen and linebackers, have played well. But how can we block those guys up front long enough to where we can exploit that secondary that has shown that they can be exploited by both Southern, Grambling, and Alabama A&M? Those are going to be the keys to the game. Can JSU get to the quarterback? Can their back end hold up long enough? And can FAMU exploit that back end? On the opposite side of the ball, can FAMU stop the potent JSU rushing attack? Last time we saw Jackson State out on the field, they ran the ball extremely well, and they have extremely talented backs. They ran for 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jacobian Morgan, very efficient, 11 of 16, 226 through the air, 3 touchdowns. Some of the guys, they're looking to get some of their guys back, but Jonas Fortillion has had a great season so far. He had 2 touchdowns last time JSU was out. Also, Isaiah Spencer caught a big 58-yard bomb. They're hoping to have Cody Paul back in this game. They're hoping to have some of their guys that have been hurt back for this game. We'll see if they're able to make it. But Jonas Fortillion has shown that he's wide receiver 1. He's been able to make plays, and if they're able to, from what I've heard, I understand that Kobe Paul should be returning for this game. He'll be able to make some plays. On the FAMU side of things, they want to run the ball as well. I mean, the last time they were out there, they ran it pretty well as well, 112 yards on the ground. But they've shown, what I will say, this FAMU has shown that they can get gashed, because the last time they played, now granted, I'm putting all this in parentheses, Alabama State can't throw the ball. I mean, they just don't have a good quarterback on their roster. Andrew Body got hurt. They ran through like 5 quarterbacks. So Alabama State is essentially one-dimensional. That's why they just don't have a chance of winning the SWAC. But they did run for 211 yards rushing against FAMU. Can JSU and their stable of backs, Ahmad Miller, Travis Terrell, Irv Mulligan, J.D. Martin, all of those, can those guys replicate what Alabama State was able to do and get in with Jacoby and Morgan and make timely completions for touchdowns, for big plays, but run the ball like Alabama State was able to do? And that's a one-dimensional team, and you know what they can't throw the ball, and they still were able to run for 212 on the ground. Can JSU replicate some of that? And that way, if you're able to run the ball, you're able to play clock, you're able to keep time of possession, and that saves your secondary, who has looked suspect all season. That is what JSU will look to do, and I think JSU should have success doing it. I'm going to pick Jackson State in this game. I think there's going to be some points scored in this game, though. I think this could be a 38-31 type of affair. I think JSU will be able to run the ball, though. They haven't showed me that they can consistently stop people's passing game, though, and that's why I think Richardson should have some success throwing the ball. I think JSU will play clock possession, though, because FAMU is subject to give up some big runs and give up a ton of rushing yards. I mean, Alabama State is one-dimensional. You still gave up 212 on the ground. I think with the stable of backs JSU has, they will be able to run the ball effectively. Jacobian Morgan will make just enough completions, timely completions, potentially for touchdowns. I mean, we have 11 completions and 3 touchdowns. It's a pretty good percentage. And this will allow JSU to win this game. I think that I'm picking the Tigers 38-31 and a win over FAMU to take over first place in the SWAC East and to have the fast track to once again potentially host another SWAC championship game at the Vet. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Once again, I'm choosing JSU 38-31 over FAMU. But I think this is going to be a good one, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Once again, my name is JeffLightsYJr. This is the Victor Formation Sports Show right here on JeffLightsYJr, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your content. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and the notification bell because I upload all the time. Thank you, guys, for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Peace.